watching The End Zone, sponsored by Lucky Star Casino.
Welcome to a Red River edition of The End Zone. I am Colby Daniels, along with my co-host TJ Eckert, and that is former Oklahoma All-American Gabe Eichert joining us this week as we get ready for the most iconic college football rivalry in the country.
It is my favorite week of the year.
Yeah.
Red River rivalry, Red River shootout, whatever you want to call it. OU Texas is what I call it. Don't care. It is one of my favorite weeks of the entire year, and cannot wait for Saturday. And I appreciate you boys for having me.
Man,
this is awesome.
We needed the perspective. We had Deon Amati on last week, defensive guy. We needed an offensive lineman's perspective this week. And we
defensive guys are weirdos.
Yeah, they have no idea. They have no clue. Had to bring you on, though.
Very, very excited. I think this game is not only the best game in college football, I think it's the best spectacle in college football. Yeah. And I think there's a great argument that it's the best spectacle in all of American sports.
Fair.
They play a football game in the middle of a state fair.
I mean, what's more American than that?
There's nothing more American than, and then mere feet from the stadium, beer stands, corn dog
That's
stands.
right.
I mean, come on.
Corn dogs.
It's the most American thing ever. It's fantastic. You can't beat it.
It's such a unique atmosphere. I think that is also why you go into this matchup, and sometimes one team is clearly better than the other. And ultimately, you get a nail biter, right? You get a thrilling finish. I was asked earlier today, what is your favorite part of the game? And I've covered 10, 12 of these now. And you can probably talk about this better because you've actually played in it. But I love getting there, walking down the ramp, and as soon as you come out of that tunnel and the sun hits, you have the green grass, the blue
almost
skies.
Like blinds you.
It's like sensory overload, right? Because the tunnel's so stuffy and there's no air. The air hits your face, and the smell of the fairgrounds and the orange and the crimson, and just it's sensory overload. And I just love that moment as soon as you walk out of that tunnel. And I imagine that's tenfold if you're a player.
It's the best. It's the best walking down that ramp, especially when you are sharing the ramp with the other team right before the game, and some fun things can be said. It's a fantastic experience. And luckily I was able to be a captain for a couple of those games.
Yep.
And my favorite thing actually was getting to walk out before everyone else came out. And you just kind of walk out and you look around and you see the split, and you just you have this moment where you get to take it in before everyone comes running on the field. So that's one of my favorite memories. But it's a roller coaster. It's an emotional roller coaster of a game. And I think that's one of the reasons it is the best rivalry in college football. Is it can be your loudest home game and your loudest road game, depending on what end you're on and what's happening within the football game. There's just so many special things about it.
Does it feel like a normal game whenever the game starts as a player, or is it you still have that feeling of, man, this is stinking unique?
It is the one game for me, I can only speak for myself, but I've had these conversations with other guys where normally you play and you have this anxiety at the start of the game, and it kind of settles.
Right.
That doesn't happen in this game. You feel like you're on edge. You feel that pressure throughout the entirety of the football game, and I think it has everything to do with the stage, the setting, and then you just know how much it means to the people that are there, the people that are watching at home, the people in the state of Texas, the people in the state of Oklahoma. There's just so much that comes with it, and you feel that as a player. You can say, hey, it's a normal game. It's just like any other game. I prepared the same way. Those guys are liars. They are lying to you. Yeah. It's not the same. It is different. It meant more to me. And I have to imagine a lot of guys feel the same way.
Yeah. I think that's why there's so many crazy momentum swings, right? Over the course of the history of this game, you can see whether it's a big special teams play, a turnover, a penalty even that maybe extends a drive because of the unique atmosphere and the two fan bases, one that's stressing out when things aren't going well and the other one's cheering. The momentum swings in this game can be absolutely insane.
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with the atmosphere. I also think it has a lot to do with the rosters are pretty comparable over the years.
Sure, yeah.
When you think about how talented Texas has been for a long time. Now, they haven't had the recent success that we've had, but this is something like the 44th matchup between these two teams where both teams are ranked. I think I read that that's more than the Iron Bowl, the Egg Bowl, and Texas A&M, more than those three combined. Like, the teams have been good. The traditions are great. The rosters are extremely talented. And I think that leads to, you combine that with the atmosphere and everything going on within the Cotton Bowl, and I think that's what leads to the roller coaster that we ride for this football game.
Well, this 2024 edition obviously is going to be a lot of fun. OU comes in as a big underdog to the #1 team in the country. That is Gabe Eichert joining us along with TJ Eckert. I am Colby Daniels. We'll talk about this unique 2024 edition. First time in the SEC. The matchup itself is next here on the End Zone. Welcome back to the Red River edition of the End Zone, along with TJ Eckert and Gabe Eichert. I am Colby Daniels. Gentlemen, let's talk about this matchup. Oklahoma is a 2-touchdown underdog. Obviously, you understand why, and a lot of that has to do with the offensive injuries. They've been banged up on the offensive line the entire season, and I've never seen a team lose their top 5 pass catchers. This is pretty wild, and especially the Deion Burks news.
Do we have to talk about it? Do we really have
Feels
to talk
significant.
about it? This is the way that I look at it. The guys you had against Auburn are who you're rolling with into this football game.
There you go.
That's my expectation, and the encouraging thing, the fourth quarter of Auburn is the best execution we've seen from this offense so far this season against quality competition. So I'm hopeful that the bye week was extremely useful for this group, that execution will continue to ramp up, especially as they have the same 5 along the offensive line. But there's no doubt Michael Hawkins is going to have to go out there and play a really, really good. I think they're going to keep it relatively simple and think they can just line up and whoop Oklahoma.
Sure.
And you have to be able to run the football against some of the light boxes that Texas presents. It's what they've showed up to this point in the season, and I think if you can get Hawkins more involved as a runner, designed QB run game, but also read run game, buying the respect of one of those backside defenders, that can have a big effect. But ultimately, it's about violence, man. It's about violence at the point of attack, and OU's offensive line, they're going to have to win their battles, bottom line.
Yep.
I love his poise, and he's obviously a dynamic playmaker himself, but in the game and a half that we've seen of him, he's been incredibly poised in big situations, and he hasn't turned the ball over, which is obviously going to be crucial in this matchup. Speaking of poise, I mean, the OU defense has been off the charts. Fans have been begging for this level of defensive play for a long time, and you finally get it. It stinks that you've had so many offensive injuries, but this is going to be a big-time test for the defense, and it sounds like it's going to be Quinn Ewers getting the start for Texas.
Yeah, and I think that this Texas offense is the most complete offense that OU's defense will have seen this season, and that's really no disrespect to Tennessee. I just think Texas's offensive line is quite a bit better than Tennessee's. You gotta make them uncomfortable in the pocket, and I'm sure that is what Zach Alley and Brent Venables has spent 2 weeks trying to figure out.
They did a good job of that last year, about 5 sacks, forced 3 turnovers. So I think if that's going to be your calling card.
Of the play action game, it reduces the effectiveness of their screen game, which I think they may be the best screen team in college football, and it gets them in some more predictable passing situations.
I know Venables downplayed it earlier in the week, but I love the Sark versus Venables chess match, if you will, which he said, that doesn't really exist, but offensive mind, defensive mind.
It exists.
I'm here for it. Sign me up. Absolutely. All right, we're going to move the chains, or Gabe is going to attempt to move the chains on the other side of this break.
Put the horns down. There you go. I was there. Yeah.
Along with TJ Eckert and Gabe Eichert, I'm Colby Daniels. It is time for everyone's favorite segment of the show, Moving the Chains. We have an offensive guy back this week, so Gabe is familiar with moving the chains, picking up first downs. You have 4 questions, 4 opportunities to gain 10 yards to move the chains in this segment. So we will judge your answers, grade your answers, and give you either positive or negative yards. So first down, Obviously, all week it's been a question about the Texas quarterback situation. We know that Michael Hawkins is the quarterback for the Sooners. Who's the most dangerous quarterback in this game? Is it Ewers, Manning, or Hawkins?
It's yours. The experience factor is the difference maker. Guys played in a lot of big football games. Now, clearly doesn't have the mobility that Michael Hawkins has or the mobility that Arch Manning has. But that experience matters. You saw how he played against Michigan at the Big House earlier this season. Guy looked fantastic. But coming back from the injury, and maybe we see Hawkins, maybe a legend is born in the Cotton Bowl on Saturday. But you have to give that respect to Quinn Ewers.
I think that's a good first down gain of 5 yards, right? You gave respect.
It's not what you expected. You thought I was going to pick the OU guy.
That's what I said. Yeah, perfect. So you gave a little love to OU as well with Hawkins too. So
he's going to be a fan. Yeah. I'm so excited for that young man's future. He's built the right ways. He's got the right mental makeup. He's going to be special. But Ewers, he's earned respect.
By the way, since 1990, first-year starters in this game are 5-14-1.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to pretend you didn't tell me that.
Let's go to second down. Let's do that.
I didn't need to know that.
That takes a lot. Most intriguing personnel matchup for you. It could be OU offense versus Texas defense. It could be position group versus position group. What would you say?
This is going to be very specific, but Oklahoma's corners against Texas's wide receivers, not in coverage, but in the RPO stuff at the line of scrimmage.
Yep, getting off blocks.
They have to attack those plays with physicality. Texas does a tremendous job of throwing those at the line of scrimmage outside, and Isaiah Bond is very dangerous in those situations. He rips off big chunks. I mean, they're throwing it 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He's running for 12 yards.
Yeah.
You have to fit those things properly at corner and safety on the outside to prevent those and make those minimal gains.
Yeah, no doubt.
I love the answer. It's a good answer. I'm going to give you a gain of 1.
Oh.
Okay.
Because I want to see the defensive line against the Texas offensive line and what that matchup looks like. I think that's going to be maybe what determines this football game. So, that is a great answer. You didn't lose yards. You didn't pick up the first down on second down.
I'm fine. Gain 1. We're moving in the right direction.
We're moving in the right direction.
All right, this is going to be a fun one. I want you to give me your Red River fantasy football lineup. You get a quarterback, a running back, a receiver, a tight end, and then 2 defensive players. So your fantasy football dream all-time.
Just OU? Or all time?
You can do all time.
Guys,
it could be Texas if you want.
That would be strange. I'm not going to do that.
I mean, you've been throwing the horns down the entire show, so that would be very weird. But.
So, quarterback, give me Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
Good answer.
Running back, I'm going to take the Adrian Peterson guy.
Okay.
He's a good player.
He turned out to be good in the pros.
CeeDee Lamb. Do I get 2 receivers?
You get 1.
One.
Ooh, CeeDee Lamb or Ryan Broyles. I'm taking.
It's tough.
I love you, Broyles, but I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb.
Tough.
Fan of the show, Ryan Broyles. You had him on.
Your former guest.
Yeah,
I saw that episode.
That's right.
But defensive back.
You get a tight end and then just 2 defensive players.
Give me Jermaine Gresham.
Okay, that's fair. That's good.
Over Mark Andrews. Close.
Yeah,
Sorry,
close,
Mark.
but
Sorry, Mark.
All right, and then just 2 defensive players in general.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Any position.
Gerald McCoy. I got to go with my boy Teddy Lander. Come on.
Okay,
You can't forget Teddy.
Podcast partner. Come on, man.
Come on. All right, love to the pod. Oklahoma Breakdown, by the way.
Check it out.
They do a great
YouTube.
Job.
Podcast platform.
4th and 1. 4th and 1.
Oh,
yeah, why not?
Okay.
Why not? We got to go for
picked
4th
up 3
down.
yards.
Got to go for it. Analytics say go.
Okay, I need your favorite Red River memory. It could be as a fan, a player, now in the media. You got to give me your favorite one. It has to be good.
We beat the absolute brakes off them 2 years in a row in 2011 and 2012. And there is not a more satisfying feeling in my football career than watching that side of the stadium empty out in like the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
That is the good stuff, people. There is no better feeling. You're playing your rival. You know the entire country is watching. And they're like, we got to beat traffic. We got to go home.
We got to get out of here.
This is awful. I mean, we beat the heck out of them in 11 and 12. So that's my favorite. That's fantastic.
Good answer.
How heavy is that golden hat, by the way?
It's light. However, when I put it on, there's a picture of me, and you're like, why is he making that face? The inside was like chipped, and cut my forehead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did not, and I'm like, ow, what's happening?
Insider.
But
So,
then,
so your least favorite memory is?
no, well, it was still good. I was like, I'm willing to endure this pain for this hat.
This is my moment.
then I was flashing the horns down, smiling and all this
Great.
stuff. But there's a picture where I'm like, ugh.
So, I mean, just like last year, Gabriel drops back. Nick Anderson in the corner of the end zone. We have a
touchdown.
Red
You
River
didn't-
touchdown.
Oh, I scored.
You didn't
A
even-
Red
I
River
scored.
touchdown.
Yes.
You moved the
He's
chains
in the end
and
zone.
Yes.
He is in the end
What a
zone.
day. What a moment. Love that.
Touchdown
Good job, Gabe.
Sooners. There we
Good
go.
job, Gabe. We need
all
all of
right,
those.
that is moving the chains, which Gabe not only did, but he put 6 on the scoreboard. And we are wrapping the show up with game picks next here on the End Zone. For the final time before we kick things off to the Red River rivalry this weekend, Gabe Eichert joins TJ Eckert and myself. It's time for game picks, and very quickly, let's look and see how we did last week. TJ,
Rough.
it was another rough one for you last weekend.
We're getting
1-4.
better.
I wasn't much better, but I was
You beat me
better.
by one.
So.
Yeah, Dion had an okay week. Yeah.
Overall
Okay.
standings, I'm picking up a little steam and separation
You picked
in
up
the overall
one.
standings.
You picked up one. Let's be clear here. Okay.
Fair enough, but hey, it's
a little
it's a
steam.
decent gap.
It's a
decent gap. That's all
13
I'm
and
saying.
7 is really good.
He's doing pretty well.
Way to go.
He's doing pretty
Colby,
well.
look at you, man.
That means
it's a
I'm
long
due for an
season.
0 for 5. So,
Yeah, that's
so get
usually-
ready.
that's
Stay
usually how
away
it
from
works.
whatever
It's a
I'm
long season.
selecting
Fade Colby.
here
Hashtag
momentarily.
fade
All right,
Colby.
Penn State at USC, and the Nittany Lions are giving 5.5 points. TJ.
No other analysis needed other than my dad's family's from Pennsylvania, so I'm picking the Nittany Lions.
I'm going to take Penn State as well. I think they are just a much better version of the Minnesota team that just beat USC.
What he said. Give me Penn State in game number 1. All right, game number 2. As we head to the Big 12, Kansas State at Colorado, and Colorado's getting 3.5.
K-State hasn't been a good team on the road, which is odd. I feel like they should travel better than they do, but I think the Wildcats go in there and win in Boulder.
Give me Colorado. They're going to have the best player on the field. They're going to have the best quarterback as well.
Give me K-State. I'll give away the points, and they physically beat up the Buffs. All right, game number 3, Ole Miss headed to LSU.
Something about Death Valley at night. I don't know if the Tigers are any good, but it's hard to play there in the evening. Give me LSU.
Points will be scored. I'm going to take LSU as well. I think that they can score enough. And I don't know how good that Ole Miss defense quite is yet. We haven't seen them tested.
I'm still very underwhelmed by LSU, so I want to go Ole Miss, but at home, all these home dogs
Death
on
Valley,
Saturday, I can't give away that many points, so LSU.
Death Valley at night's hard to go against.
It is.
It scares
All
me.
right, what some are calling the next best game of the weekend after the Red River game. Number 2, number 3, Ohio State at Oregon.
Kind of hard to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast. We've seen some issues with teams doing that so far in this new look realignment. So give me the Ducks. Why not? Go Dylan Gabriel.
I am going to take Ohio State. I think they're going to be better at the line of scrimmage. I think their skill talent's better. View the quarterback situation kind of as a wash. I think the Buckeyes get it done.
I'll take the points at home, and I'd probably say that either way. So I'll take Oregon and the points. All right, Red River Rivalry, the 120th edition. 9 of the last 10 have been decided by one possession. This is a 2-touchdown favorite for Texas.
Yeah, I think OU covers, but Texas wins. That's about all. That's the best analysis I can give. Something like a 27-17 would be great. 34-24, somewhere in that range.
Could you imagine if I picked Texas to cover?
Surely not.
Oh my gosh, no, there's no way. There's a formula. Control the time of possession, win the turnover battle. Defense has to play very, very well. It's possible. It's going to be difficult, but it's possible for the Sooners to get it done, not only to cover, but to win the football game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pick them to win, but again, I like them to cover. So give me
Too many points.
Sooners and 2 touchdowns, and I expect another great game. Gabe, appreciate it, and everyone have a great Red River weekend.
One more in there.